Okay, the next format for graphing parabolas is intercept form. We did vertex form, we did standard form. So this is called intercept form. Now it's called intercept form because they give it to you in a factored format, which makes it really easy to find the x-intercepts. Okay, there's an A in the front, and that still indicates a vertical stretch, a shrink, or a reflection of the x-axis, which is always a good way to check your answer. Okay, now if it's in this format, if you want to solve for the x-intercepts, you set this equal to 0, and then if you solve this, you plus the p over. So p0 is an intercept. And if I plus q here, I get q0 as an intercept. So this is, you can get the intercepts really quickly. If you graph it, you have an intercept and an intercept. Now if you want the vertex has to be exactly in the middle of these two intercepts. So to find the middle, you can either look at the graph if they're really easy to spot, or you can do p plus q and divide it by 2, and you get the x coordinate, and you can plug that in to get the y coordinate. That also helps you get the axis of symmetry. Okay, let's try this. And remember, this is just showing you the best way to graph if it happens to be in this format. Okay, so if I look at f of x, this is not vertex form, this is not standard form, it's in factored form. Okay, now if I want the x-intercepts, imagine I'm setting this equal to 0. If I solve this one, I would plus 3, and I would get 3, x equals 3, so 3 comma 0. Actually, let's write this up here, x equals 3. If I solve this, I get x equals 1. So the other x-intercept is 1 comma 0. Let's go ahead and graph it as we go. So 1, 0, 3, 0. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and draw the axis of symmetry now because on this graph it's easier for me to see. Now the axis of symmetry goes through the middle. So the middle of 1 and 3, I can see that's going to go through 2. So let me go ahead and graph it. Okay, that's going through axis 2 just because I'm looking at it and I can tell that between 1 and 3 is 2. Now if I can't tell, I need to use this formula to find the x-coordinate of the vertex. So I'm going to do h equals p plus k. That's my two x values. So 3 plus 1. And it doesn't matter which one you put first. I'm dividing by 2 because I want the middle. So that's 4 divided by 2, which is 2, which is also my axis of symmetry and also the x-coordinate of my vertex. Okay, now to get the y-coordinate, I'm going to plug it back in the original equation. Okay, so my original equation is called f. So I'm going to say f of 2 equals 2. Okay, it says x minus 3. The x I found was 2. So I'm going to say 2 minus 3. Then the other parenthesis says x minus 1. So it's going to be 2 minus 1. And we're not going to be nervous about this because it looks bad, but it's going to simplify really nicely. Okay, now I don't want to distribute this because I'm going to leave it in factored form. 2 times 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So if I do 2 times negative 1, I get negative 2. And then if I times it by 1, I get negative 2. So my vertex is 2 comma negative 2. Let's go ahead and add that to my graph. So 2 negative 2 is down here. Okay, those 3 points are enough to get a decent sketch on my graph. So let me go ahead and sketch it. And then I am going to still use my A value to confirm my answers. Okay, so it looks something like this. If I go back to the original equation, the A value is the 2. This is opening up and it has a stretch of 2, right? 1 up 2, left 1 up 2. So that looks right. Let's do one more together and then you'll try them. Let's find the x-intercepts. Okay, you can do them in your head because this is in factored form. And make sure you can look at it and tell that it's in factored form. It has x minus something, x plus something. So if I were to solve the x equations and set this equal to 0, I would get x equals plus 6 minus 2. So my x-intercepts are 6, 0, and negative 2, 0. I'm going to go ahead and graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now you could find the x-coordinate of the vertex by counting the spaces. I'm going to use the formula so we get used to the formula. So h equals, I'm going to add the two values together. So 6 plus negative 2, and then I divide it by 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. Now before I move on, I want to make sure this is in the middle. So x equals 2 is right here. That looks like the middle. So let me go ahead and identify my axis of symmetry. It's going to be at x equals 2, and I'm going to sketch it in because I'm confident about that right now. And it looks like it's in the middle. If it looks off, I'm going to double check my work. Okay, I just need the y coordinate of the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it back in, the original equation. So f of 2 equals, and even though this looks like a funny equation, I'm going to plug it in. And if I work the parentheses, it's going to end up being not that bad. So what am I plugging in? I'm plugging in h is 2. Okay, and I'm not going to try to distribute anything here because it's going to come out nicer if I leave it in factored form. Okay, 2 minus 6 is negative 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so I'm going to do negative 1/2 times negative 4 times 4. Now, the order you times these does not matter. So if you would like to times them in a different order, you can. I think I'm going to times these numbers first. That's going to be negative 1/2 times negative 4 times 4, negative 16. Negative times negative is positive, and then half of 16 is 8. Okay, so the vertex should be at 2, comma 8. Okay, let me go ahead and graph that point. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then let me see if that makes sense with my a value. 1, 2, 3, way up here. Okay, my a value is negative 1/2, so this is opening down. That seems reasonable. It has a shrink of half, which I can't really label perfectly, but I know it's going to go something like that. So it seems reasonable to me. As long as those 3 points are graphed well, it's okay if your shrink doesn't show up perfectly. Okay, go ahead and try the practice problems. Verify using your a value that you've done it correctly, and then unpause when you would like to check your answers. Okay, for number 1, my x-intercepts are 1, 0, and 5, 0. My vertex is 3, negative 8. It didn't ask me to, but I did draw my axis of symmetry to help me confirm my answer. The a value is 2, right one up 2, left one up 2, which looks reasonable. So this graph looks nice. Okay, go ahead and check number 2. Okay, for 2, x-intercept negative 4, 0, and 2, 0. I use the axis of symmetry just to check my work. My vertex is negative 1, negative 9. The a value, there's nothing there, so it's a 1. So I went right 1, up 1, and right 2, up 4, just to check my answer. Okay, last one. Okay, x-intercepts negative 4, 0, and negative 6, 0. Okay, I calculated my h is negative 5, but I could just look at that and I can tell that negative 5 is in the middle. I used the axis symmetry to confirm my answer. My vertex, negative 5, 3. Sketch my parabola. My a value is negative 3, so it opens down with a stretch of 3, right 1, down 3, left 1, down 3. Looks good.